Hi everyone, this is how to do a Tucci style digital manipulation using vector shapes and multiple images. It's a really good effect. Everyone really likes this effect. It's really simple to do as well. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So the first thing that you need to do is download some vector shapes. These are really readily available. If you're a student of mine, then you'll be able to go on Moodle and there's a folder on there where you can download these shapes. If not, you can just search for them on Google. There's loads of them out there. You just want a 3D style vector shape, but you can just pick whichever ones you like. So this is the first step that you need to do that saves a lot of time. If you go to File and then Script and Load Files into Stack, I'll leave that up there for a couple of seconds. That's a few little moves there. What this allows you to do, I'll go ahead and click that, is open the files all as separate layers rather than separate images. So when you open images, usually in Photoshop, it'll open them all as separate images. But this way, it opens every image as a separate layer in the same file. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I've already found the images I want to use. You need four images, and well, at least four anyway. And I've already found these and I've popped them into a folder just for ease, but you just hit browse, find wherever your files are, select the files you want to use. If I hold shift, I can just press down and select all the files, hit open, and then click OK. Now it'll take a few seconds for them to load because it has to process 4 images. Don't worry if it takes a little while, but it shouldn't take too long. Next thing you need to do is pick which image you want as your bottom layer, so your main image. I'm going to pick this one here. So if you drag whichever one you want to the bottom, you see here I've got that one at the bottom there. I want that as my main image. And then the other ones are going to sit within the vector shape on top of the image. So I'm going to put the little eyes back on. That turns each layer on and off. So if you also, a nice little shortcut, if you hold Alt and click on any of the layers, it'll turn every other layer off and keep that one on. It's a nice little tip. So I'm clicking the bottom layer just to see, double check which one I've got. Okay, so next step, you've got all of those loaded up as a separate layer, is to get your vector shape. So the easiest way to do this is just to go ahead and find it in a folder. So I've put mine on the desktop, vector shapes. I'm going to use this one. So you just click, hold it on top of Photoshop until it loads up, and then just drop it. It'll come up with this dialog box. Just hit OK. So that's a pretty good size. I might move it around, make it a tiny bit smaller. So if I hold Shift and pull the corner in and out, it will mean it's not going to squish the shape. It will just change the size, and I'll sit it around there. I think that'll look good there. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter. So that's pretty good. Now this is what you have to do next. Fourth tool down on the left hand side here, it's either going to be Magic Wand or the Quick Selection tool. If you just click and hold, you can change between the two. This time we need Magic Wand. That's the fourth tool down there. And then second thing you need to check is up at the top here, tolerance. It's just how much it will search for the pixels. So you want the tolerance for this to be quite low. So I'd say around 8, 10, something like that. That should be fine. So now you just need to click one of the shades of grey on the vector shape here. So we'll start off with an easy one. This one's all connected, so you can just go ahead, click the shape, and it will select it perfectly. Now, this is how you do the technique basically. You just scroll down to your second layer up, this one here. Remember, the bottom one's going to be our background image, so we don't want to do anything to that. So second layer up, and then you want to click the layer mask button here. Now, you'll see when I click this button, because we've made a selection, it'll actually make a layer mask the same shape as that selection. So the black won't show through, but the white will. So all we need to do now is repeat that step for these two layers as well. So if I make sure the top layer is selected again, the geometric shape, and then make sure I've got magic wand. Now I need to select this shade. Now that's again is a singular shade of grey, so I don't need to faff around with selecting any others. Now if I select the next layer up, and again hit this button here, the add layer mask button, and you'll see that's made a layer mask the same shape as our selection. Then finally go back up to the shape, make sure it's selected. Now with the last one, it's in two places, so how you do this is if you click on the first shade there. Now this area here is the same colour, so you need to select that bit as well. So if you just hold shift and then click that one as well, it will select both areas. So now I just need to go on the final layer and hit the layer mask button, and then you'll see that it's kind of got rid of all of the images below, and suddenly you've got this shape sitting on top. Now if I just hit the eye here next to the original geometric shape, you'll see, voila, you've got your kind of final image there pretty much. Now there's a few tweaks that you can do here. If you click these links between the layer mask and the layer along here, that will turn those off. Now what that means is that the layer mask will stay where it is in correlation to the bottom layer, but the other image next to it you can move. So it means that you can move the image underneath, but this shape here will stay the same. So then you just get the move tool up at the top left here. It might look a little different on your version of Photoshop, but it's just the top tool there. You can just press V to move to that tool as well. Make sure that the layer is selected, not the layer mask, but the layer that you want to move. So I'm going to select this top one, and you can then move that image around underneath to kind of line them up, make it look the best it can, get a bit of contrast, difference in tone. That looks quite nice because this is a reflection in a lake, so you've got quite a nice texture there. Just be careful when you're moving it around not to move it too far. If I move it too far to the left here, you'll see in the bottom corner here I've moved the image further than the layer mask. You just need to keep an eye on that, so don't move it too far. And that is pretty much it. I mean, I've done it in black and white here because I think it looks quite nice with the tones, but you can do it in colour. You can have the bottom layers in black and white and the top layer in colour. You can just play around, see what you can do. And yeah, that's it pretty much. Really easy, simple technique. Just go off and have a go.